The Zen philosophers of antiquity tell us that we only know ourselves through our own echoes. Listening to the moments, days, and years that came before to assemble the illusion of who we tell the world we are today. The Hindus believe we are all aspects of the Godhead, pretending to be human, approaching each day pretending to be joyful or apprehensive or fearful in service of grand drama playing out across the cosmos. When I examine my own echoes, I see my life as a haze of small ships lifted into the sky with propellers, flying across unfamiliar worlds filled with enormous chickens in search of magic and justice. I fear that I have perhaps grown too close to my subjects as they have embarked on a quest of questionable value to complete every entry in a series of video games. As they embark on their third such game, Jeff and Ryan seem to be comfortable in this reality, constructed of shared memories which take place inside of a television screen. I find myself wondering if I have lost my identity in an echo chamber of Final Fantasy tropes. Will this endeavor result in a worthwhile addition to my oeuvre? Or will it become a confusing memory of a character I was once pretending to be?
And with that, here's a little taste of next season on No One Can Know About This.
There we go.
Damn. Dude,
It's finally done.
I can't fucking believe it. That's season 2. Lock it, print it, make it a hard copy.
Of 2 p.m. Sunday, April 15th, 2018.
Burn it onto a CD, it's done.
Burn it onto a CD, it's done. Put it in the stack.
Oh my god, okay. Let's go to Game Dude.
Let's go
to Game Dude! No, but like really, let's go to fucking Game Dude.
Waiting to go to Game Dude.
Alright. Season 3, let's get underway!
You want to see something sad?
Oh, your shoe's all fucked up.
Look at this.
What did you...
The sole fell off.
Damn it.
Welcome to No One Can Know About This, a podcast where we play every Final Fantasy. I'm Jeff Ekman.
And I'm Ryan Kazmiski.
And motherfucking, it's season 3!
I cannot believe that you're saying those words right now.
I know, I can't believe I'm saying it either. I mean, first of all, I gotta say about this season, strap in, because it's a big one. Like, last season was way bigger than season 1. This season is gonna be maybe twice as long as season 2.
We're in a position right now where, like, I can't look ahead.
Right.
Because, like, it's never ending.
Right.
It doesn't end.
No.
And I don't know how we're gonna get through it. But then again, it's kind of like, at this point, we've played so much Final Fantasy that it's just kind of like, continue sailing.
Yeah.
Continue sailing
on that airship,
on the airship.
into the distance. And so that's what we're doing. For people who are new, let me say, what we do here is we record every aspect of us playing the Final Fantasy game. We record ourselves going to the store to pick up the game. We record ourselves having meals between play sessions. We record ourselves playing, and we record ourselves in the editing bay, making fun of ourselves for the choices that we made. And we put that all together for a cohesive listening experience for all of you. For those of you who are joining us who are longtime listeners of the first 2 seasons, thank you guys so much for listening to the show, and anybody who's gotten in touch with us on Facebook or Twitter or through the Patreon, our Patreon supporters, thank you all so much. I can't tell you how much it means to us that you guys are actually starting to really enjoy this show.
Yeah, you're definitely helping, like, drive us towards that fabled reality where we've played all of the Final Fantasy games.
It is a fabled land.
A far-off, distant land.
Yeah, and oh shit, we should say there's a video version for the Patreon subscribers. So if you want to see video of us doing this game, or not video of us doing this game, but video of the game that we played, you can go do that now and not only get the episodes early, but also see a video version, which is a lot of fun. We hope.
I still feel like I've set out on a voyage that, like, you know, when I was a boy in the village, like, the men sailed off and, like, one came back and he told me of, like, a place that he went before. And like now he's like an old man, and he's like all hobbled, and he's like, we must find the land again.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's out there, I promise, but he has like no real solid information about it, and we're like at sea.
Is there anything else that we should say before we start trying to roll into this? I feel like there's other stuff.
Well, we should say, like, this season we played Final Fantasy VI.
Yes.
Not Final Fantasy V, which
Correct.
we know is numerically after 4.
Right.
But not in the way they were released in North America.
Yeah.
And for new listeners who don't want to go back and listen to our explanations before, we're playing the North American releases for now.
Up through 7.
We sprinting to 7.
Yep.
We don't need the whole backstory, but we started this whole thing because I wanted Jeff to play 7, and we're going to get there.
We're going to get there. It's going to be a while from now because we've got a lot of episodes to release.
We do have a lot of editing to do.
But we are on that train, and we are steaming towards 7. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen soon.
A steaming train of Final Fantasy gravy. It's just sloshing out of the sides around every turn.
Just hot gravy.
And we're happy that you're all there to, like, lick it up off the sides, the hot Final Fantasy gravy. As we speed ahead.
Hot Final Fantasy gravy is a horrifying phrase.
As we speed ahead towards the station. Trying to think of a metaphor for the station.
The biscuit that the Final Fantasy
the Final
gravy.
Fantasy biscuit.
Well, I do want to say FF6 is an extraordinary journey with many ins and many outs. Haley's over there, excited.
Barking at the neighbors, no doubt.
No doubt.
Probably her favorite thing, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it gotta be.
Favorite or second favorite?
Second favorite only to shutting off the machine.
Yeah. Final Fantasy VI is a long game.
That it is.
Not the longest game.
No, but certainly longer than 4.
And longer than 1.
That's for sure. I hope you like Final Fantasy VI, because that's what we're going to be experiencing for about the next 6 months.
Oh, I also want to say, if you haven't played Final Fantasy VI...
I would recommend that you play it.
I would recommend you play it. I would encourage you to keep listening anyway.
Whether or not you've played it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
Unless, well...
If you wanted to play along with us, I would encourage that. Mm-hmm. The other games, honestly, I wouldn't, like, in good conscience, tell somebody today, like, you gotta play that now.
Yeah.
But this one, I would be like, you should play this.
Yeah.
You should play this game.
Is even if you haven't played it, we hopefully will be illuminating the path we took in a coherent enough way that you'll still be able to follow this podcast.
That would be the hope.
That's the hope. I can't objectively say whether or not that's true because I'm not a person who hasn't played Final Fantasy VI to the end anymore, so...
Right.
It's hard for me to say.
It's hard to know. I want to say, too, get ready to hear some pretty annoying voices, because this year we tried voices.
Yeah, this year, this
season. I always say that.
We should
about
start
this
calling
season.
them years.
I know.
As though
yeah.
this is taking place over
year 3.
Year 3.
And the fun thing to track is going to be, it took them a while to all fall into place, and some of them changed. So you may hear us be like, we were doing this kind of a voice in this part.
There's like one particularly annoying one that we use way more than all the others.
Yeah. So get ready.
We use it for multiple characters.
Yeah.
But we played it over, what, like a month?
We played it over like a month with like no sessions that went past like 1 a.m. So there's no like 10 a.m. situation this year. I keep doing it.
This year. I mean, it'll probably be next year before another season comes out anyways.
It's Season 3, Episode 1. Let's get into it.
Yeah, if there's one thing we don't want to do, it's confuse you.
Yeah. Because this is Final Fantasy, and if there's one thing that they refuse to ever do to their audience, it's confuse them.
Mm-hmm. Let's get it. Let's begin.
Let's go back to, when was it? April of 2018. Back to a time when we were heading out the door on our way to Game Dude.
We got a lot of things we need to do.
Yeah. I mean, while we're out, should we pick up the ingredients for clotted cream?
Yeah, maybe... And some snackage, maybe?
Yeah, like, set ourselves up to never leave my apartment for the next, like, week if we needed to.
I have to go to work on Tuesday.
No, I know, but, like...
But tomorrow,
yeah, exactly.
I don't have to go to work. We can set it up so that you don't have to leave your apartment for a week.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I live anyway, so perfect. You've played this game, which I have not.
I can tell you everything I know about this game.
Yeah, I'll first start by saying I've played the first half, like maybe a little more than the first half of it. It was probably a couple of years ago I played that much. So I haven't seen all of it, but I have seen a lot of it.
I believe I know that there's a character named Kefka.
Mm-hmm.
And should we address the elephant in the room?
The elephant in the room that I'm referring to is the fact that at some point between seasons, I was listening to a podcast about Final Fantasy, and they were like, yeah, it's not like anybody is listening to this worrying about spoilers. Like, in 6, when Kefka, like...
Do we want to ruin it for our audience?
Maybe.
Are we worried about that?
Are we worried about that?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
No, we should just fucking spoil it.
Right?
Because that's what, yeah.
So in that case... Skip ahead about 20 seconds because what I had spoiled for me, we're going to spoil for you. Which is that at some point in this game, the bad guy, like, wins. And he, like, destroys the world, and there's, like, a huge moment, and it's, like, amazing. And unfortunately, I was aware of that going into this game in a way that was just so frustrating, where it was like, it was somebody being like, nobody cares about those spoilers. And I was like, but yeah, I did.
We didn't realize we were in a position to, like, be making Final Fantasy content.
Yeah.
And be unable to engage with other Final Fantasy stuff.
Right. Like, that's a weird situation. But anyway, that's the elephant in the room that I don't actually say.
But really, I know nothing. Like, what I know is that this is maybe the best Final Fantasy game ever made.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who say that.
Oh, boy. All right, we're back. We got the game.
Yeah.
We were back at home, and we set out on a journey that is longer than any of the journeys that we've taken so far. The longest journey yet.
The most drawn out.
So far, that's for sure. The most drawn out journey that we've been on yet.
Final Fantasy 3. 6. Whatever.
I need you to lay down.
I was reading what I was reading.
This one is legit long.
This is going to be a real test of us and the show.
Hey, come here. Come here. Hey, come here.
Okay.
Turn the volume up.
A Space Odyssey. Oh shit! Final Fantasy 3. This is the most ominous title sequence I've ever seen. Where's the traditional title sequence music?
I don't know.
Where's the boo-doo booth?
Long ago, the War of the Magi reduced the world to a scorched wasteland, and magic simply ceased to exist.
1,000 years have passed. Iron, gunpowder, and steam engines have been rediscovered, and high technology reigns.
That's a common thing in these games, is like, technology bad.
Technology isn't bad. Magic is bad.
Right.
Especially when there's also technology.
Exactly.
And it becomes one
When
thing.
the two are together.
Yeah.
When they are magic tech.
But there are some who would enslave the world by reviving the dread destructive force known as magic.
It's very destructive.
Can it be that those in power are on the verge of repeating a senseless and deadly mistake?
No, I've never heard of that happening in life. Nobody's ever repeated history. Is this like a mountain peak?
Yeah, look, you can see the village down in the canyon.
Yeah.
So yeah, the opening little cinematic is like panning across the land while it tells you that information about magic being dangerous, and then it drops you off and you're a woman in a mech suit, and you're with these two guys, Vix and Wedge.
Vix and Wedge.
Vix
yeah.
and Wedge. And we're on a mission of some kind.
Yeah, we're like surveying a town that we're about to go. Like, it's very much like in 4, where you like are stopping off at a town
To ransack.
to ransack it for something that you want on
Right.
behalf of the Empire.
Exactly.
Vix says, there's the town.
Hard to believe an esper's been found intact there, 1,000 years after the War of the Magi.
They found an esper, huh?
They found an esper.
What kind of a name is Wedge? And this woman, this sorcerer, why is she here? So are these like two mech soldiers?
They're like sitting in like a mech thing.
Okay. Not to worry, the slave crown on her head robs her of all conscious thought. She'll follow
The
orders.
slave crown.
This slave crown idea is horrifying to me.
Yeah, they use it in a way that, like, the full horror of it is never really... No one ever comments on it or is like, fuck, a slave crown. It's kind of like, oh...
They take it off her head, and then they, like, put it in a drawer, and nobody mentions it again.
And no one ever uses one on anyone else ever again
it's
either.
like, you have this thing. It's the most powerful thing.
Everyone in the world is like, oh yeah, slave crown.
Right.
I've got like 10 of them in my garage.
Right.
You know,
I
like...
don't understand.
Well, I mean, you're not supposed to misuse it. It's
Right.
fine as long as you use it responsibly.
Of course.
The slave crown.
What is a responsible use of the slave crown?
I mean, it's just, you just gotta, like, I keep mine in my slave crown safe. And I only use it when appropriate.
What is an appropriate scenario? Is what I'm trying to get to.
Well, sometimes you just need one.
What are these sometimes? Dude, lay this out for me where you're like, you know what would be perfect for this right now?
Well,
a
like
slave crown.
when you and like a trusted partner want to like get into some extra horrible or freaky games.
You mean when
or
it's consensual slavery?
You're planning like a heist and you need plausible deniability. You just pop one of those babies on and have somebody tell
now
you
you're
it,
talking.
And you're like, it wasn't me. I wasn't in on it. They made me do it.
I like the consensual sex element where it's like, wait a minute, I'll put this on you, but then I'll only do things that I promise it'll be great. We're both gonna love it.
She's under the slave spell.
Of the slave crown.
Anyway, the next thing that starts is the opening titles of the game and the beautiful music that sets the tone, and it really is hauntingly beautiful, I think.
Here we go.
Whoa. 3 mechs trudging through the snow.
It's definitely like a level of cinematic that has not even been like
Dreamed of.
broached by the previous games. Yeah. Like it's like sort of almost 3D. It's like from the back of these mechs as they're kind of walking towards a place, so the horizon is like getting closer.
But it looks real bad.
But it looks great. It looks
good,
its own way.
but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not the most realistic snow I've ever seen, but I'm not complaining.
I mean, compared to the last game, though.
Oh, nothing like, not even close. Yeah, this is pretty impressive. If a movie started on 3 people in mech suits just gotta go somewhere in the snow and it's just like glory shots of them walking, I would be
awesome.
Captivated.
Yeah.
As I am now. Ted Woolsey.
Yeah,
that's the guy.
Our man, he's going to be the responsible for how much of this game we understand. Ted Woolsey is the translator. In Final Fantasy VI,
who did not do Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah,
and he did do Chrono Trigger and other things that are great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're back to the title. 3. I still haven't pressed a button.
So maybe you should press a button.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna need to go to new game. We need to delete Justin
and Timmy.
There's 2 Justins.
Whoever owned this game previous to us were named Justin, and I assume his little brother was named Timmy.
Looks like...
Both are roughly the same part of the game.
Yeah, it looks like Justin made it about 10 hours in. Okay, so the thing we just said...
The thing we just watched is the beginning of the game.
Yeah, the opening cinematic that plays if you don't press a button is the same opening cinematic that plays after you start a new game. So it's happening again. The War of the Magi.
These cutscenes definitely lose their magic when you have to do them again.
Yes,
because you're like, okay, yeah, it was majestic. Fuck.
Yeah, that awesome composer who did The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Morricone. Yeah, if you told me he wrote this, I'd be like...
That would be so nuts. Morricone did the soundtrack for Final Fantasy VI.
I wouldn't put it past him. He's a crazy guy.
He composed it for the Super Nintendo sound card.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
So now we're finally in the town. The mechs have walked through the snow again.
Yeah, we've seen the cutscene twice.
The Esper's gotta be in here. Move out.
Yeah, you can't walk back out.
Okay. And she's the party leader.
And they're looking for an Esper. I don't know. We're about to murder a bunch of dogs.
The beginning of FF4 is all about mom death, but the beginning of this game is all about killing dogs.
It stays that way throughout the whole game.
It's the whole game is really dog killing.
Machine riding, self-important swine. Take this. Are we gonna be fighting a dog?
You're gonna kill a dog.
We're gonna open the game by killing a fucking dog.
Well, it's a Lobo.
I mean, it looked a lot like an adorable little puppy when it ran up to
Look at
me.
it here. It's a wolf.
Okay. Oh, my mech suit has a lot of abilities. I see. Let's try the bolt beam.
Yeah, because the game is starting you as like a powerful evil force that it has a lot of mech suit abilities, you're just extremely powerful.
Yeah, we're rolling in and like eliminating the town's dogs with like weapons beyond the comprehension of most of the people who live in this world.
There's magic technology that we're using to kill dogs.
Look at that background.
Yeah, that's some epically what is the word I'm looking for? Detailed. That's it. Detailed. It's epically detailed.
I remember the beginning of the playthrough. It took me a while to get my brain like up and running. Like there were a bunch of times I couldn't find basic words. So that's a thing in the beginning of this.
Imperial Magitech armor? Not even Narshe's safe anymore. Who's Narshe?
Narshe is the name of this town, which again, that's not a name of a place.
No.
Narshe.
I would have thought...
Narshe.
I would have
Welcome to
pronounced it Narshe, and I would have thought it was a person. Well, these guards look like devil... They're... God, I can't think. Demon... Grim Reapers. They've got sickles. Fuck! This is not a great start. Narshe's freedom, it depends on the dogs.
It's like we're invading this town. We're sort of invading it.
There's an invasion that's
three
happening.
of us. We're like coming in to get a thing.
Yeah, but we're like 3 super armored
Right.
soldiers.
Anyway, so we're not wanted there, but their whole strategy seems to be like everyone just like let their dogs out for the night.
That's right.
And hopefully, like, it's
But
like
let the dogs take care of
the
it.
beware of dog signs will like scare us away. Who's really the monsters? Like us or the people who like let their dogs out to go to the slaughter? Like we're people in giant like clawed mech suits that have magic.
Right.
And you send
You send your fucking dog?
we're just getting dog wave after wave of dogs.
I wouldn't expect Haley to take on a mech suit.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Well, maybe she could. Because
Maybe
what
if
she
you
would
got
do,
her own
she
mech
would go accidentally unplug the mech suit, and then it
Yeah.
would all shut off.
Because these mech suits have to be plugged in
They're
at all
plugged
times.
in mech suits.
You have to get a super long extension cord.
Yeah.
This town was unfortunate enough to uncover something that you want, and you're coming in here and killing all their pets.
These guys think that they're gonna have a chance because they're getting us from both angles?
Yeah, or because they, like, you know, believe in what they're fighting for or something. I don't know.
That sounds like bullshit. Look at that wolf. That wolf believes in anything? Look at his eyes.
Yeah.
Well, this doesn't feel right, what we're doing.
No, but you've got a slave hat on.
This is a better incarnation of, like, the cinematic in the opening of 4, where you show up and you kill these people in a cinematic, and then take their crystal.
Right.
This, like, feels more like... We're just going in and just with a machine gun.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the comparison between starting as kind of evil in this game versus starting as kind of evil as Cecil in game 4, Cecil just like after the opening like has this change of heart that feels sudden and weird.
Well, and on top of that, you don't play him invading the town.
Right,
Like
you just see it.
see him in the town,
Right.
and like you kind of through dialogue understand.
Yeah, why don't you just put some battles in there to
But
make it feel a
it's
little
almost
bit more
like
real?
they just took that moment and just like let it play out longer. You have to walk through this place.
Right.
That's it. That's like the only difference.
It's like you're
but you
more
walk through
invested
it.
in
You aren't-
your gaming
yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
According to our source, the frozen esper was found in a new mine shaft. Maybe this one? Yeah, I mean,
I think it's probably this one.
probably. This is the only one.
So we enter the esper mine where
I
they
don't think-
mine for espers?
I think that they found an esper in their mine.
What do they mine for regularly?
I don't know if they ever tell you exactly what they normally mine for.
Yeah.
They might. We might see that on this watch through.
That would
They
be
might
interesting.
bring it up, but no, they don't mine for espers there.
Okay.
But it
Well, they
does
found
seem,
one.
It does like I always wanted to call it like in the esper mine.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but it's just a mine where they found an esper.
Right.
That otherwise has like a serious were-rat infestation.
Right, we run into a bunch of were-rats.
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 Does that mean they turn into wolves?
Or were they people?
Right.
I don't know.
Because a werewolf is a person that turns into a wolf. Then he's got to be a person that's turned into a rat.
I think that must be what this is. I had never thought about it that much, but I really think that, that sucks. If you're gonna be like a monster or anything, turning into like a rat.
No, you get to run around in all of the shit in the sewers. It's awesome.
Yeah. You're like, whenever the full moon comes out, I run down a drain pipe and I frolic in the shit in the sewers.
It's awesome.
And then I wake up somewhere underground covered in shit.
You'd like come to in a space that you barely fit in as a human. Being like, I can't get
The
out.
pipes are too tight.
It's very dangerous to be a were-rat.
Yeah.
A lot of people every year just disappear without a trace.
And then they show up in the sewer system. This town must have constant major sewer clogs because it's were-rats that have turned back into humans that are just clogging up the shit.
Yeah, and in the mines, the ventilation and everything must be full of dead bodies.
Narshe is the worst.
But and I bet the cops too. Anytime someone disappears, they just like chalk it up to the were-rats.
Were-rat
They don't even
problem
know
again.
about the crime problem they have too. Probably it's probably one of those situations where like one problem has gotten so bad that it like covers up all the other.
Yeah, you don't even know what the real issue is.
I mean, it seems like a shitty place to live.
Yeah.
It's frozen. It's a frozen mine town.
Is this a safe spot?
Yep.
Yeah. You can use a sleeping bag or a tent.
Makes more sense than the tent to cabin.
Although I did really like the cabin on the moon.
This mine's full of enemies. Enemies like Repo Men.
Repo Man. What's he doing down here? I thought we would get away. Right where I never expected.
Oh man, I didn't even think about it, but I think we're totally gonna see enemies start getting weirder in this game too.
Is he actually like here to take back our car?
He throws your wrench and he runs away.
Why would he do that?
And
So we're fighting a giant
They're
s-
friends with the snails, I guess.
Okay, because we're fighting a giant snail.
Yeah.
Wait.
Think back on our briefing. What about it? Do you recall hearing about a monster that eats lightning?
What does that mean?
So yeah, we're fighting the snail, and the other people that we're with, like Vix and Wedge or whatever, are like, think back to our briefing, where there was like the whole rundown of what we would run into.
Well, no, they're like, think back to our briefing where there was a vague mention of a monster that eats lightning.
Yeah, okay.
And if you were just told, in this mine, there's a monster that eats lightning,
And then you run into a
would
snail.
and you saw a giant snail, would you think, like, obviously that snail eats lightning?
I would not.
No, me neither.
But the fact that Vix and Wedge instantly are like, this must be the lightning snail.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
They just have, like, an intuition about it. They're like, its shell is purple.
Right.
And it's yellow. It seems like a lightning creature.
Yeah.
Also, though, like, we don't just run into it. Like, the guards of the town are like, get him! They, like, command the snail.
Right, because the snail is named Welk, which is a weird name for a snail.
No, it's not.
Why?
Because that's what you call certain snails.
Whelks?
Yeah.
Is that like a baby snail?
I'm going to look it up right now. We're going to find out exactly what it is.
I didn't know that. Is it a whelk of snails instead of like a gaggle of geese?
Whelk is a common name that is applied to various kinds of sea snail.
Okay.
Although a number of whelks are relatively large and are in the family Bucinidae. I don't know how to say that. The word whelk is also applied to some other snails.
All right. It's a scientific name surrounding snail. Gotcha.
It
And
eats
stores the energy in its shell.
and then it retaliates.
Yeah, it's one of these.
Whatever you do, don't attack the shell.
Do you think this snail is fast also? Like, we can't walk around this snail? It's
We
just
must
gonna,
be
like,
able to
fucking
walk away.
snap at us?
Yeah, like can't we just move around it and then go to where we
I
need
never
to go?
realized before how grateful I am that I don't live in a world where snails are, like, really fast. Can you even imagine?
And they just zooming around.
Yeah, if, like, you saw a slug and it was just like
Like as fast as a
fucking
cockroach?
snake. Yeah,
Yeah.
just like you'd have a slug like zooming around your walls. You'd be like, I can't get it. It's been in here for days, and every time I try to get it, and I can't.
It runs away. It's like
You've got
catching
like
a chicken.
handfuls of salt that you're just like you're like throwing salt at the ceiling. You're like, nah.
I missed them again.
Yeah, like, it's like gets everywhere. Someone comes in and they're like, there's salt all over the floor, and they're like, yeah, snails, huh?
Snails again.
Yeah.
Tried to take care of it yourself. Classic mistake.
I wonder if later these characters will be like, and that snail, I murdered it.
I can't live with myself
I can't
anymore.
believe I did that. Oh no.
Oh shit. Too bad Heal Force doesn't bring people back to the dead. I mean, back to life. What the fuck did I just say?
Back to the dead.
The old, you know that saying.
I don't know if I was having a stroke that
Listening
morning or
back
what.
over this, I'm like, we need to get a CAT scan to make sure something didn't happen to you. Because, like, in a 15-minute period, you're like
I can't
falling apart.
This is a pretty fun boss fight
Yeah, this is pretty tense.
already.
Now he's gonna hide.
Uh-huh.
The magic technology is impressive.
I assume
I
that
can
we're gonna
see-
hold on to this throughout the game and not have it taken away from us right in like 10 minutes. That's my assumption, is that
Yeah.
we're just gonna be this strong forever. And
You know what? They think you're onto something.
So we get to the bottom of the esper mine,
Yeah.
where the esper is.
Yeah, and the esper is like a
big crystal with a thing in it.
It looks like it might be like a dragon or something inside of a ball of ice, but
Yeah.
you can't really tell.
It's hard to tell if it's ice or crystal or what this material is, but it's an esper and it's frozen somehow.
It's supposed to be ice.
It is?
Which
Okay.
means, because they refer to it as the frozen esper.
Right.
Which means that, like, they were digging in the mine and they just were like, hey, ice.
Yeah, and then they
There's no other-
excavated
it's not
the
like
ice.
This mine is full of ice.
No, but it's the frozen esper, so
could-
it like
maybe
is
it's an ice mine
where they're mining ice.
to send to the desert.
Didn't we talk about ice mining?
I think we do at some point.
At
Talk
some
about
point,
like
like-
the last guy in Peru or something who still sells.
Spoiler alert, that's going to happen in episode like 20? I don't know. Conversation's coming.
Spoiler alert: the ice mining economy is not very good these days.
oh, it's like just a monster in a frozen ice?
Yeah.
Gotcha. The frozen creature began emitting an eerie light. Are we gonna fire beam it out of there?
Where's that light coming from?
Whoa, Vix is gone. Or Wedge is gone. He's gone too. Now it's just Slave Girl.
Yeah, the other two guards, other than you, the main character, get like disappeared out of existence and never heard from again.
Yeah,
Like-
it's not like they get lightninged or magicked. They just like
Disappeared.
they like David Lynch style disappear.
If you think that someday in this game there's going to be like another land of disappearedness where you're going to go and run into Vix and Wedge, that never happens. They're just gone.
They're just casualties. This could be like an episode of the X-Files. This could be like a cold open of like you see them both and they like disappear and
Right.
then like da-da-da-da-da-da. Mulder would be all like, Scully, some cultures believe that these espers contain magical powers, which were once used by like the shaman of old
Right.
to reach other lands and do things. She's like, but Mulder, there's just
Mulder,
no
that doesn't make
evidence
any
for
sense."
esper magic.
All she's got to say is ellipses.
Yeah.
Ellipses, ellipses, ellipses. Whoa!
It starts reacting with us with the slave crown on, and something weird's happening here with this interaction.
That's hard to describe.
Yeah,
Good
there
luck.
was a lightning explosion.
It's not that hard to
Yeah, I'll
describe.
take a crack at it.
Go ahead.
So like some electricity comes off between the esper and the slave girl, whose
And-
name is Terra. We'll
yeah,
just call
Terra.
her Terra. And then there's an explosion, and
Yep.
it fades to black.
It's not that hard to describe.
I love.
Oh my god, this game is gonna be so good.
Are you saying that because we woke up in a bed and we walk out of it like this?
No, but just looking at the bricks and all the stuff and
Yeah.
thinking about Chrono Trigger, which, you know...
A lot of time and thought and effort seems to have gone into this game. Mm-hmm. Where am I? You want to be the old man?
Whoa, I only just removed the crown.
Oh, the crown of
The slave crown.
the slave crown. I hope that becomes a really important item in this game, because what a powerful thing to exist.
Yeah, it's... You're gonna want to hang on to that slave crown. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want anyone to know you have one, but you always want, if you know, keep it under the floorboard, crack it out in emergency.
In an emergency.
When you need an emergency slave.
Right, of course.
The fact of the matter is the slave crown exists only to make the transition from tyrannical bad person to doing good not weird like with
right,
Cecil. Like,
exactly.
it-
it's serving a narrative purpose, and it's better than what they did with Cecil, but it's still not good enough.
It's still not good enough because the fact that a fucking slave crown exists,
Exactly.
and then like it never comes up again. I mean, it's almost like they were playing 4, and they're like, you know, what would make this thing with Kane make a lot more sense? The slave crown,
Right,
He
instead
keeps getting the slave crown put
on and taken off,
They're
and
like,
put
under
on.
his helmet, he's got a slave crown on. You can't see. And they're like, yeah, slave crown. And then
Yeah.
they did it this one instance in this game, and it just, like, doesn't matter ever
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Easy. This is a slave crown.
Right.
The others had complete control over you while you were wearing it.
I mean, I kind of feel like this game has put a slave crown on my head.
Yeah, I mean, Terra's taking her slave crown off, but we're just putting ours on.
Yeah, we are slaves to this game.
The next foreseeable future of our lives are dictated by the currents.
I
of
don't know
this
that we
game.
can take this crown off anymore.
So it makes you. Oh god, that's a really horrifying idea.
Yeah.
It's just like I can't remember a thing. Well, it's probably for the best.
Yeah, exactly.
So she's like full amnesiac. Mm-hmm. Not just while she was a slave.
A mysterious young woman, controlled by the Empire and born with the gift of magic.
I thought magic was sealed away and like super dangerous.
Yeah, but they were like, it's coming back, and this Empire is like using it for bad things.
Okay.
And she was born with magic, which is weird.
Because esper is another type of magic.
It'll all become clear eventually. After about 45, 50 hours.
That's when it gets good.
I don't want to over-explain things
Yeah.
for fear of revealing things that I know that you shouldn't know.
Yeah, but I also don't want you to hold
Yeah,
back
no, I'm not
talking
I'm not
about
going
shit
to.
because
But
like
at this point,
I
you
still
should-
need
all
your speculation.
All you need to know is that she's got magic. The Empire seems to be making some kind of magic something, and they're doing bad with it.
Gotcha.
And they were making slaves out of magic her.
Out of magic her.
Yeah.
And Nishi is where?
Narshe.
Narshe. Not Nishi?
I don't know. It's in a canyon somewhere. We're there.
We're still in
I think so, yeah.
Niche.
Narshe.
Narshe.
Narshe. Imagine Wayne or Garth saying.
Yeah.
Narshe.
Alright, well, we're keeping the names all the
Terra.
same.
Yeah, this is Terra.
Alright, nice to meet you.
Impressive. I've never heard of anyone recovering so fast.
Well, we're magic, you know?
Open up. Give us back the girl and the Empire's magic tech armor.
Before anything can be explained fully to Terra by this guy who rescued her, like, guards come to collect her. They're like, we know she's in there, open up.
Yeah.
Give her to us. She killed all the dogs in town.
Look, I have to get you out of here. I don't have time to explain. Just very convenient.
Well, you don't really have time to explain. There's like, the cops are coming.
Yeah.
So we step out the back door.
Hide in my... Whoa, where are we?
The back door.
The back door. Okay. What's spinning over there?
There's, like a hamster wheel attached to a smaller hamster wheel.
And they're bike spoking their way to what?
I mean, it's probably part of the ice mining operation, some way.
Yeah, I mean, now that you say it like that, it's obvious.
These wheels.
Probably pulling buckets of ice down from the bottom shaft where you get the really pure ice.
On the inside of the rock.
Yeah, the ice from the inside of the rock. Pulling it up.
Just sitting on top of the mine, I guess probably running some kind of thing underneath it. I don't know.
Is there stuff in places?
I don't remember, but I do think that there is some stuff in places. I don't remember exactly where. I'm hazy on the details.
Oh.
There's not a stuff down there.
There's not a stuff?
No.
I want to find stuff. Is there a stuff here?
There might be a run button. Maybe not. These mines are just thick with were-rats.
I just had a really stupid thought about why they're using dogs all the time. It doesn't really make any sense because it should be cats that they're using, but I'm imagining somebody got confused. The idea is this is to get rid of the rat problem.
Oh, okay.
You use cats to get rid of all the rats.
You could use dogs.
You could use dogs, but they're not known for hunting rats.
They're not known for that. No.
But I imagine like what this town has is ready.
But those are their neighbors and stuff.
I don't know. You're right.
Go
but
get 'em.
If you kill a mother in rat form, it's not murder.
It's not illegal. I was going to say, like, a reason they're using dogs other than they don't want to get hurt in battle, so they send attack dogs. I was like, isn't that why you use attack dogs?
A first line of defense.
Phoenix down with an F.
Yeah, it's spelled with an F. F-E-N-I-X. Never seen that before.
Okay, yeah, that is weird.
Phoenix. Another Repo Man? What did he possess in the first place that
And
I
also,
have
I
that
feel
he's
like this is
repossessing
confusing.
now?
He doesn't look like a repo man. He looks like a mechanic.
He looks like an old witch.
Well, but he's got a wrench and he's like wearing a jumpsuit. Like, you know, like he's not. That's not what it looks like when someone comes to get your car.
No.
So we start looking at our menus, taking it in, seeing that the item bag is unbelievably huge.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, that's a bag that's never gonna fill up.
Holy shit.
I love that they let you go all the way to the
What
bottom.
the
It's
heck?
yeah, you gotta go all the way back.
Well, because I thought there would be a sort button at the bottom.
It's up there, arrange.
Oh, sure. What does rare mean?
I have no idea what the rare button does. Maybe it should be rare stuff.
Anyway, we're in this cave and like the guards find us and back us into a corner and we're like,
Got her. Coming. Oh boy. Oh. Now we're really backed into a corner. Oh, holy
Whoa.
shit! What?
Yeah, you're backed into a corner until a hole opens underneath your feet and you fall down further into the mine. There
Yeah.
wasn't like a trap door, but you fell.
It's just like a dangerous mine to be in.
very dangerous. There aren't any supports.
See, that's what it looks like when you fall down a hole, not like the tower in 4 where
Right.
they just tell you did.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
now you're in a hole.
Yeah, it must have hurt. So we crawled like a square, and then was like,
So now, while Terra's hit her head after the fall, she like remembers something from when she was under the crown, right?
Yeah, she's like in a process of like her brain is coming back on, sort of. So
Right.
she's getting like memories back.
So we go to this cutscene, which has a weird color on it, which I think is indicating you're in a flashback. And there's a guy here in this cutscene, and his name is Kefka.
Kefka, my sweet little magic user. Wee hee hee. With this slave crown, I'll practically own you.
"You'll literally own." That's what slave means. He's laughing.
Yeah, she's remembering.
She's
She's remembering fire beaming.
Burn up everything. It's the cool thing to do.
What she's remembering is Kefka forcing her to murder people for fun, maybe?
Yeah, he seems to be enjoying it.
I think they're like his own soldiers.
Yeah, that's a tough
Because they were
move.
like, because the soldiers at the beginning were like, I heard she like vaporized like 50 of our dudes.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, she's pretty powerful, all right. So Kefka was just like, yeah, let's see what you can do. These guys are worthless.
Right.
They don't have magic or anything.
And then you kill him, and he's like, whoa, yeah, it
And
worked.
Yeah.
But wait, are you an infant at this point?
No, not.
'Cause isn't-
look at her.
but-
She's not an infant.
I know, but things that we find out later about when she was captured by the Empire and this whole crown thing started, don't we learn that it happened like right after she was born?
I mean,
And she doesn't have
maybe
any non-slave memories?
We do learn that, but it's maybe the kind of thing where, like, in her memories, she's like, "I was an infant. I wasn't an infant."
Yeah,
What's the
yeah.
difference,
When you have
really?
a straight slave crown on your head.
These games like starting out with you being responsible for burning people.
Yes. Yeah, that's definitely true.
So in this flashback, there's like a big facility and some weird guy steps out and he's like clearly the leader of it all, and he walks to the front of the screen.
This is a dog.
Emperor Gestal.
Gestal.
His name is Gestal.
We stand on the brink of a major breakthrough. In the days to come, we'll witness a total revival of magic.
Yeah, okay.
Sounds like it should be good. It is our destiny and ours alone to take this mystic force and claim what is rightfully ours. Well, that doesn't sound good.
Well, what do you think is rightfully yours?
I don't know what they think is rightfully theirs, but anytime anyone starts talking about what's rightfully theirs, it's usually coming from, like, a bad, angry place.
Terra wakes up from her dream nightmare, and we cut back over to the old man who's hanging out with a new guy who we find is named Locke.
Yeah, and one thing we should say, anytime they introduce a playable character, it does this kind of like, it pulls them onto a black screen and just literally tells you, like, who they are and what they're about.
Yeah, it's like one of those,
gives you,
like
a
freeze
pitch.
frame.
Yeah.
This guy is a cold-hearted killer who wants nothing but revenge.
Yeah.
Even though that's not a
I
description
wish
of any
that
of them.
were a description of one of the characters. They're all like these fun characters, and it's like, and this guy is a murderer.
Well, we kind of do have one of those in this game. Shadow.
Yeah, but it's said more mysteriously
Yes,
than that.
it is, yeah.
Treasure hunter and trail-worn traveler searching the world for relics of the past. Locke.
This guy kept heads in his freezer and has sex with dead bodies. A free spirit that can't be contained, not even by the law.
Well, I'm glad this game doesn't have that character in it.
I prefer the term treasure hunter.
Semantic nonsense.
There's a huge difference.
Locke's doing that kind of thing of like, it's not a magic trick, it's an illusion. I'm not robbing from people, I'm a treasure hunter.
Yeah.
I hunt for treasure.
Yeah, and it's like the main joke in the game.
Right,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a girl I'd like you to meet.
Another good girl. This better not have anything to do with that Magitech riding Imperial witch.
Well, she's literally a witch. Our independence can only be assured if we join forces with the Returners, an underground resistance movement.
That's a terrible name for a resistance
that
movement.
was totally. I love, that piece of exposition. I mean, already this translation is way better.
It is.
Agreed. Make your way first to Figaro and talk to the king.
Well, it seems like there's an actual back and forth that's occurring where both people are actually listening to each other and responding. Which is a low bar, but this seems to be clear. But I also like the
They have personalities,
characterization of
yeah.
this guy, yeah. Kind of got an edge look to him a little bit.
He kind of has an edge personality to him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So we're in like an underground cave that's kind of hard to describe, but it's got like some obstacles in it. And we're at the top of this part of the cave.
It's like a pachinko machine.
Right,
It's like
yeah, that's
it's
how to
like it's
describe
got
it.
a bunch of things where
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
dropped
yeah.
a ball, it would like sort of ping pong down a different path each time.
Right. And
Yeah.
what it's going to want me to do is control 3 different sets of Moogles, and I got to move them around at the same time to block the soldiers that are coming up the plinko machine,
It's
or pachinko machine.
Now we gotcha.
Are we
Me
gonna have
and my pack of dog people.
This is all in service of like defending Terra's unconscious body from the soldiers who are trying to come get her.
Right.
So like to be clear, Locke and a group of Moogles, which if you're unfamiliar with Final Fantasy are
They're one of the more famous recurring creatures in the Final Fantasy series.
Kupo? Ooh!
Kupo.
Oh yeah, and they're always saying Kupo. That's like their favorite thing to say. It's like bro or dude.
What? Dude, what?
From further in the cave, out walks 3 Moogles, and they look like
they're like stuffed animals that are alive.
They're
That's
like
the
stuffed
only
animals.
way I
Yeah.
know how to put it.
yeah.
Are they like they're rabbits that are bats?
They are kind of like rats with bat wings. Bats are kind of like rats with bat wings.
They are. What the
Moogle.
fuck?
Use us to save Terra from the guards.
What does that mean?
Hope you like mini games, dude.
Oh shit, really?
Because this part is a little complicated, the Moogle offers, do you want more information?
You need more information.
I do need
Trust
more
me.
information. Yeah, I don't want to skip any tutorials. Alright, give me the information. You'll fight using 3 different groups. Press the Y button to switch between them. Okay?
What you can't see is that the troops are walking up right now,
Gotcha.
and you're trying to like
Block.
intercept them
We're fighting giant beasts, and we're like little rabbit bats.
with spears and shit, though.
Oh shit, yeah. Okay, we're strong.
I remember when I was a little kid and I would rent this. This part was like too much for me to handle.
I can totally imagine that.
And
Because that's the thing, like this, I just wrapped my head around it, but I actually had to think about it. And they also throw you in and don't really tell you what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you're really supposed to be able to lose this.
Yeah, it doesn't seem easy to lose.
It's weird to think about not being able to beat this part, because it's really not complicated or difficult at all.
Yeah, but I can totally picture like a 7-year-old.
I know, but like it's not often that you have a memory of like not being smart enough to do something that's easy. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny? I actually do have a memory from kindergarten of exactly this. I have a really deep memory of like they basically sat each one of us down in front of like a multiplication table just to be like, does he already know it? Like even before we teach him? Because I remember I was looking at 1 times 1.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at him being like, I know the answer's not 2. And I put down 3. And they were like, he's not ready.
Yeah, because like I have this memory of like moving them around and being like, why can't I beat it? What is it like to not understand this? There's 3 paths,
Yes.
and there's like 3 like.
I don't know.
Well, Curran's dead.
Yeah, Curran.
Kushu's dead.
Good thing there's just like a whole mob of these things.
I know, like, it doesn't seem losable. Really.
I wonder how valuable the lives of Moogles are even to themselves. You know, how do they see themselves?
I don't know. Annihilated.
There's like a guy who's particularly difficult, who's like the boss at the bottom of all this, and I keep taking the Moogles in, and he's actually killing all of the Moogles in the party.
Yeah.
So I take the next group of Moogles down and throw those meaningless lives at him.
Yeah, we're just tossing like wave after wave of these like cute little like white bat rats.
Yeah.
Is he gonna have more dogs?
I think he probably will.
Yep.
Yeah, it starts. Oh my god.
Whoa.
Dude.
Dude!
Yeah, nets seem effective against a gang of Moogles. Just toss out a big net and
Just
scoop
throw a
them
net
up.
out there. How is this guy still alive? How is this guy... Am I supposed to lose this?
I don't know.
It was a fucking minute ago that I was like, this doesn't seem losable, and now we're like losing it.
Still have one good Moogle, right?
Yeah. I guess I'll try. Maybe you're supposed to try all 3 of them. I was talking some shit about how, like, this isn't losable.
Yeah, like I don't know what you could do any differently from this.
Fuck!
There you go.
Oh, shit! With 2 Moogs left.
So we beat that boss, and then there's kind of the situation where it's like, why would Terra and Locke team up? And that gets answered here.
Oh, I won't leave you until your memory returns. By the way, this secret entrance might be useful someday. Don't forget about it.
God.
Take note.
Don't
Claire.
forget about this secret entrance. What, did I just bat my eyes at you?
And he went, hey.
And then we became one and walked out together.
So we start exploring the town of Narshe, and we find our favorite building.
This is a classroom for the beginner. Here we answer your questions about the world. Think of us as your advisors.
Oh my god. We're going back to Final Fantasy school.
I know. I'm pretty
Here's
excited.
the classroom.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Yep.
Might want to go out and get some experience in the world before coming in here. What's in there?
I don't know. Let's go in.
Let's go in. Advanced battle tactics.
Let's go into normal battle tactics first.
Yeah,
So the other door. Oh, I love the menu sounds.
I know, I was just thinking that. Wink, wink. Dance and rage, which are kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna go rage. If you're gonna rage,
at
you're
the club,
dancing.
Yeah. I never just dance.
You rage.
I always rage.
Always rage. Do we go back into town or do we leave?
I think you're supposed to leave.
But what if we went back into
I
town?
don't know. Let's see.
Wouldn't that be hilarious? Hey guys. Who might you be? Ugh.
You better hightail it southward to Figaro.
Figaro, huh?
Figaro.
So far, some of these names have been sayable. Figaro.
Yeah, they're at least like they sound
Fabool
better.
is a terrible.
Fabool, yeah, yeah.
So we step out of Narshe and enter the overworld map, where we walk around on a flat surface and get into battles.
Yes, we're back.
We're back.
Look at this battlefield.
Seriously.
Holy
There's like
shit.
a Bob Ross painting in the background.
This is fucking awesome.
And that's where we're going to break for this episode. That's episode 1 of season 3. Wow, it's begun. We've just left Narshe.
Yeah, almost nothing has happened.
For people who have played this game, you're going to be like, you guys have done a whole episode already and you're only here? Like, what? Okay, this is going to be a long season. I gotcha.
I mean, watching back over it, we were in such a better mood to play this even than, like, you know, from 1 to 4, we were like, oh, this one, it's pretty good so far,
right.
But like this one, I feel like we both have been excited to play it for so long.
I think
like,
we wouldn't have played 1 or 4 if not for the podcast, but we would have played this.
Yeah, we would have
without
played this
the podcast.
eventually anyway.
Yeah,
so
like, and enjoyed the hell out of it.
So yeah, this is
a different season, but it's gonna be a fucking insane fun one because
Yeah.
there's so much in this game. There's so much in this game.
yeah, and so much happened in our lives while we played it.
That too. So get ready to hear about all of it. We have a new segment this season that we're calling Billboards because we bought a bunch of billboards in the game's locations. Today's, we bought a billboard in Narshe, and we have a message. So let's go into Narshe and see what this billboard says. Yeah, it is shitty here.
Yeah, it's very cold.
It's a mining town.
There's just like dog bodies all over the place. They
smell is
obviously
horrible.
have no department of sanitation.
Well, look over there. There's the billboard.
Well, there's our billboard. I mean, I think it's in a pretty good spot. I guess I don't know how much foot traffic there is here, really, but if you were to walk through this town, you would
Yeah.
see it. And it has a nice, like, we outlined the outside with, like, the blue Final Fantasy colors, and then the white is a big white space.
Oh man, this is exciting. Okay, so the billboard reads, "Stop what you're doing. You're ruining your life. This podcast is a mistake. This billboard is a mistake. This money-grubbing scheme will turn the audience against you. Don't turn your podcast into a billboard. You will regret it forever. Signed, Future You."
Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
Maybe we shouldn't do this.
I don't know if
I
this
think
is a
you just
good idea.
convinced me. I think your future self just laid it out in a way that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about the premise in those terms. Well, I mean, that message was a downer.
This
That one,
billboard.
But I mean, audience, listen, we've bought beautiful billboards in great locations all over the world.
Well, that's the
And-
thing. We've already bought the billboard, so we're committed to this
Yeah,
idea.
and I mean, future us doesn't. I don't know that guy.
Yeah, he might be wrong.
And you know what? I think these billboards look great, and you can put whatever message you want on them. You don't have to put downer messages on them like that.
Yeah,
I mean, fuck that guy. You know what? That's the beauty of the billboard, though, is like you can put whatever you want on the billboard
Yeah.
that you pay for. And that's what he chose to put on that billboard.
But that's just like his choice.
And that's his choice. That's how advertising works. That's how the world works. You pay money, you can put whatever you want on whatever you want. You know?
That's how the world works.
we live in.
So let's go back to the studio. So yeah, you can get a message if you want, $50. Email us at nocatpodcasts@gmail.com. That's NOCKAT. Well, with that, if you guys could please consider rating and reviewing us on iTunes, that would be an enormous help. You can go support us at patreon.com/nocat. That's how you really ensure that this show will continue.
Yeah. Also, if you want to get the episodes earlier in the week.
If you want to get the episodes earlier in the week, we have that for Patreon. You can get the episodes on Monday instead of Thursdays. We also have some other Patreon stuff. We have a video version this year.
Yeah.
If you guys want to see a video that's heavily edited for an audio experience.
To be clear, we are not in the video.
Yeah, if you want to see a video of the gameplay that we were playing, that's all real jumpy because we cut a lot of it out, then you can go do that right now. That's on Patreon for you. You can find us at noonecannowabouthis.com. We're nocatpodcast@gmail.com, and we're at nocatpodcast on Twitter. Man, here's a little taste of next week on No One Can Know About This.
Yeah, I love it's like season 2 is over. Blank your mind. Forget every lesson that we've learned.
Let's just play a game.
Let's just play a game.
Started. Drive safely.
But I mean, when you learn a lesson, like, what does that really mean? You know, you know a thing in your brain somewhere. What?
turn left on
I'm not
Valverde
fucking
Drive.
Sun Tzu.
Then turn left on
I don't hear a thing that makes sense and go like, from now on, with my discipline, I will forever be committed to this idea that I have learned.
Yeah.
Because it is my prerogative. I don't know.
So are we staying up till 10 a.m. today? Is that what you're
I'm not
suggesting?
doing that.
I didn't think so.